Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing a movie recap. Today's movie is going to be Tales from the Hood, one of my favorite movies, and I'm so excited to dive into this movie and to give a quick summary of the movie. If you enjoy my content, stick around as we're going to dive into Tales from the Hood. Grab your wine, some snacks, and if you smoke, grab that because this movie is a lot.
Nice try, sweetie.
I'll send you a copy. Welcome back, Roger.
Good to see an old brother around here.
Yes, of course it is.
Did you see that movie, Night of the Living Dead?
I don't think I want either of those things.
The movie starts off as three young black men going to a funeral home. They're going there to meet up with this older man because apparently he has the shit.
Where's the shit? The shit? The shit that you found.
They go to the front door, they knock on it, they get scared. We get welcomed by Clarence Williams. And if y'all know who that is, he is like one of my favorite actors. We get introduced to him very early in the movie. One of the men got scared and tried to run off, and he hit his head on, I can't remember what it's called, but he hit his head. And eventually the movie cuts over to them being inside of the funeral home, and he's putting ice on his head. Fast forward, the older man states that he found the shit in the alley and he was going to exchange it for money. He is a mortician, and his role within this movie is basically telling these young men all these different stories.
I'll tell you about old Clarence here along the way. They say he was hearing voices. Voices calling his name. Voices from the dead. Calling.
We want to dive into story number one, focusing on a character named Clarence. Now, Clarence, he was hearing voices in his head that was coming from the dead, and the reason why that happened is because he was involved in a traffic stop. He's a black police officer. The cops that he was with pulled over this black man, which was later revealed that he was actually a government official named Martin Morehouse. What happened was the other three cops was upset because he was going to get the bad cops off the streets.
You're not taking any more cops' badges.
They keep selling drugs in my community, I'll keep taking them down. You can bet on it.
And apparently they didn't like that, so they beat him. Clarence noticed that they was beating him, quickly gets involved, but he was unable to save him. They lied to his face saying that they were going to take Martin to the hospital. I don't know why it didn't click in Clarence's head that that was not going to happen, because you witnessed them beat this man to almost death, and you are trusting them that they're going to take him to the hospital. Come on, like, be for real. You knew that they was not going to take that man to the hospital. You got a blicky. You should have pew-pewed all three of them. But I digress. Him and I forget the officer's name. It will like pop up to me later. But him, Clarence and this particular officer is in the car and they're talking, and he was upset because they let them get away with beating that man.
Damn it, we need to report those assholes, Newton.
Listen good. Those assholes are cops. Who the fuck are you to judge them? See, the fucker went for Strom's gun.
Bullshit.
Oh, no. Maybe those two guys went too far tonight. Maybe it was all a mistake. But next time, it could be you. And you never break the code.
The movie cuts over now with the two cops that were still there. The shorter cop with the black hair is Billy. The other cop with the dirty blonde hair, I want to say his name was like Strom or something like that. They end up taking Martin and his car to this location with a body of water. They drugged the man tricking him because he still is conscious, but he can't see what's going on. And he was like, "Is this the hospital?" And they were like, "Yeah, this is the hospital." And they put him in the car, put a needle on him, planted drugs on him, and drove his car into that body of water. Once that happens, Clarence wakes up. He is no longer a police officer. He's an alcoholic, and the voices in his head are starting now. Clarence walks and ends up at this mural that has Martin's face on it, and Martin is telling him to bring those 3 police officers to him. And he does that. So what he does is he ends up calling the cops and telling them to meet him at the grave site so they can celebrate the anniversary of them tricking him into thinking that they were actually taking Martin to the hospital to get help.
What'd you call us out here for? To celebrate.
What are we celebrating tonight?
Our anniversary. You remember, don't you? 1 year ago today, I fell for your bullshit. New Nitro believed that Strom and Billy were going to take Morehouse to the hospital. Shut the fuck up! Oh, just cut the shit, Strom!
Shut the fuck up, boy.
Cut the shit! Shut the fuck up! Cut the shit!
Fast forward, they go to Martin's grave. Scrum, or whatever the hell his name is, disrespectful, he ends up peeing on Martin's grave. Then he's forcing Billy to do the same. Once Billy starts peeing on that grave, next thing you know, a hand comes out of the ground, drags Billy underground, the grave explodes, and you have Billy in a coffin, and you have Martin standing before them.
Shooting, goddammit! There's nothing there. He's gone. Damn it, man! This is no time to panic.
Well, when the fuck do we start to panic?
Now fast forward in the movie, Scrum and the other officer, I believe his name, what was his name? I cannot tell you what his name was, but they end up fleeing. Like before they left, Strum ended up like shooting the grave, shooting at Martin, noticing nothing is working. They ran off to, I don't know where they was going to run off to, because there's nothing that you can say that's going to make you look good in this situation, and there's nothing that you can say that's not going to make you seem crazy in this situation. They drive off. Martin is like right behind them the entire time, and at one point he was like a good amount of distance away from them, and next thing you know, he is on the back of their car looking at them. They almost wrecked, but they was able to get Martin off of them. Eventually he like teleported and he was like walking in front of a business, and they ended up almost crashing the car. Next thing you know, they like stopped in the middle of the road, and Strom, which he be making me so mad because he acts like he's big and bad, but right now you're acting like a scared little bitch, as you should, and Martin rips his head off.
Jesus Christ, it's right behind us.
How far back?
It was crazy, and I saw this movie when I was younger, and this movie was like my way of telling myself, if I keep being bad, this might end up happening to me, because Martin was not playing with them. And I just remembered the guy's name. The other officer, his name was like Newton, and he ends up running out of the car because he was in disbelief that homeboy got his head ripped off. He gets out the car and he starts shooting the car, and he blows up the car, and he quickly flees the scene, and eventually he's now at the same location where Clarence was earlier in the mural. And he sees a mural. He's having like a mental break at this point, and he like goes down the alley with all of the homeless people. They're not really paying him that much mind, but Martin catches up to him because he was, not Martin, but Newton was telling everybody in that alley like, oh, I killed him, I did this, I did that.
It's getting weird.
And Martin catches up to him, and eventually Martin does get him. He like lifts him up with one hand, throws him, and Newton is running for his life. Next thing you know, he's getting like stabbed up with a bunch of needles, and he's like on the mural, and a can gets shoved into his mouth, and he like morphs into the mural himself.
Welcome to my world.
That was crazy for me to watch, because you're telling me these homeless people don't care. These homeless people are watching it as if this is another day for them in the alley. Fast forward, Martin's upset with Clarence because he wasn't there to help him. Now Clarence is put into a mental institution, and it's been revealed that he had the psychotic break and he killed the 3 police officers. He was a cop killer apparently, and I mean, it was for good reason.
Don't ever fix your lips to say that, bro. I'm sitting right here.
So the story ends, and now we're back at the funeral home with the 3 young black men and then also the mortician, and they end up walking around in the funeral home again. He ends up opening another coffin, and in this coffin, it doesn't show you what happened, but all of the boys are freaking out about it.
Man, what type of shit?
What the fuck happened here?
Hey, can we just get our shit and go?
But, you know, we got to tell stories before they get the shit and exchange it for money, right?
You're going to want to hear about this one. It's a classic case of what is and isn't real.
So the next story is starting off with a young boy in his room. He's scared, and there's a monster that is entering his room. His name is Walter. He's a new student at this school, and as him being a new student, I guess it is the, what's the word I'm looking for? The initiation for the students that goes there, that you get beat up on by Tyrone, I believe his name was, but they called him Ty. Tyrone beats him up. The teacher takes him to the nurse, and as the nurse is patching him up, the teacher noticed that he had like a black eye, and he thought that Tyrone did it, but he didn't. And the nurse confirms that that bruise on his eye is a couple of days old, so Tyrone would not have been able to do that.
Wanna do something, Pop? Yeah, we don't like pump. I'm not a pump. I'm not a pump. Who you showing, bitch?
How's the little warrior doing?
He's got a thick head. I am worried about that, though.
Did Tyrone hit you in the eye?
That didn't just happen. It's a couple of days old.
Now, when he gets interrogated by the teacher, he states that the monster did it, and that the monster showed up after his father died. I peeped the nurse reaction, and I already knew that the nurse had made 2 to 2 together on what exactly the monster was, but the teacher didn't make that connection. And I don't understand how he did not make the connection, because if a child comes up to you and says that the monster gave him bruises and the monster didn't show up until after your father or your parents got divorced, who do you think the monster is? But we'll get into that a little bit later. So he ends up going home, and the monster comes back. He attacks him in his bedroom, and he goes to school the next day. He has new marks. And I forgot to touch base about this previously, but he even told the teacher that, oh, the monster told me that y'all wouldn't believe me anyway, because the teacher was saying something along the lines of like, when you're ready to tell us what's going on, we're here for you. So he ends up skipping recess, and he is currently sitting in the classroom by himself. He's drawing pictures of the monster at home. He had a picture of Tyrone on there, and he said that a student named Lori told him to do this because she did the same thing when she had a monster involved, and you burn it or you crumble up the paper and it kills the monster. So he ends up doing that with Tyrone. So before the teacher leaves, he tells him that he's going to come over to Walter's home after school so he can talk to his mother about what is going on.
Rory said that her mom said to draw the things that scared her, then tear it up or burn it, and then it'll go away.
Do you think I could, talk to your mother sometime?
What for?
About the monster. You've told her, haven't you?
She doesn't want to hear it. She says we already moved once.
Walter crumbles up the paper with Tyrone, and the scene cuts over to Tyrone being taken to the hospital, and that he was walking up the stairs and he basically collapsed and broke both of his legs and both of his arms.
But you know it makes no sense. How do you break both arms and legs falling down? Boy must have had weak bones.
Fast forward, the teacher finally makes it at Walter's home. He's talking to his mother about the situation. He tells her about the bruises and the problems and how Walter keeps mentioning there's a monster at home. His mother's upset and brings Walter into the kitchen and telling him, why are you telling your teacher all these crazy stories? Didn't I tell you to stop telling all these crazy stories? There is no monster. But a car ended up pulling up in the driveway. She tells him to quickly go upstairs, and then she ends up telling the teacher that he needs to leave. So Walter doesn't officially go upstairs. He's sitting at like the top of the stairs. The teacher is getting escorted, but the stepfather walks in, and the stepfather is looking at the mom, Miss Johnson, and he was like, oh, you're not gonna get the door for me?
Well, why are you just standing there? Why the hell didn't you get the door?
The teacher should have peeped all of this at the right then and there. He should have peeped it, but he didn't. I don't know why it took him so long to notice what exactly is going on in that house. But the teacher was going to leave, but he decided ultimately that he wants to sit down and talk to the stepfather about Walter's problems and all the things that's currently going on in class. So he fills him in, and the stepfather was like, oh, I'll talk to him. And the teacher's like, you'll just talk to him? And he's like, yeah, I'll just talk to him. And then he tells Miss Johnson to escort the teacher out the house. So he escorts the teacher out the house, and what made the stepfather upset is because he showed him a picture of the monster, and the monster is actually him.
Well, aside from the bruises, aside from that, there's this monster that he says is in the house. He thinks he needs to kill the monster.
I'll talk to him.
That's it. You'll just talk to him.
So he ends up leaving as if him, the teacher. The teacher ends up leaving, and next thing you know, the stepfather goes upstairs and he starts yelling at Walter, and the mama gets involved and she's up there. He's beating on the mama, he's beating on the kid. Like, this scene was hard for me to watch, like even when I was younger, and also me now. This was a hard scene for me to watch, because you have Walter running for his damn life downstairs. You have the mama trying to come get him, but she's almost collapsing on the floor. The teacher is seeing what's going on and rushing back into the house. So much is happening. He got Walter by the ear in the kitchen talking about, you think this is funny? You drew a picture of me and calling me a monster, and on his arm is a tattoo with him labeled as a monster. So two to two together, you are the monster. The teacher is trying to defend Walter, but the stepfather like beats him up and almost knocks him out. The mama's getting involved, trying to save Walter. She gets a frying pan at one point and about to hit the stepfather across the head. He knocks her down, take the frying pan away from her, and was about to hit her. And Walter ended up picking up the paper and like he's like twisting it and crumbling it all up, and the stepfather is just, whatever Walter was doing with the paper, his body did the exact same thing. And eventually they win the fight because Walter like twists the paper and then he crumbles it up, and then the stepmother, not the stepmother, but Miss Johnson ends up stepping on it.
Yo, stop, man! Just take it easy!
Take it easy! This ain't your motherfucking house!
But I think it is.
She was worried because she didn't know what to do with him, because she said that, what are you going to do? No one's going to believe us if they find him like this in the house. And the teacher made the ultimate decision that they will burn it on the stove eye, and Walter did the honors.
Find him here like this, no one's gonna believe us.
And he burnt the paper up, resulting into burning the stepfather as well. Now that story ends, and we are finally shown what that man looks like after he was burned. Now fast forward a little bit, eventually they're walking in the funeral home again, and a doll falls off a shelf, and we are instantly going into story number 3. Story number 3, in my opinion, is one of the craziest stories out of the entire movie. This one and the very first one, those two are like neck and neck on the craziness that happens in it. In this story, we're focusing on a man named Duke. He's trying to be elected for governor in the city that he's currently living in, or the state, and he moves into this White House. And it's revealed very early on that that White House used to be a plantation, and all these people were outside telling him that he shouldn't move there. There's an older man that is like shouting about how the dolls are going to get Duke, and the reporter outside was like, "What do you mean?" And the old man said that the souls don't want him in that house, and that they will have him taken care of if he does not leave.
There ain't nothing we need to do. They're gonna take care of it. They're gonna make him pay for being here.
Who will make him pay, sir?
The souls. The souls are gonna make him pay. They're gonna make him pay for being here. Miss Cobb was the keeper of the souls. And now there's no peace. There was peace, but there's no peace in the dollhouse now.
The dollhouse?
The dollhouse. They're gonna make him pay the dollhouse.
Duke is stuck in his ways, and he wants to just stay in the house regardless. And I also want to mention that he is a previous Klans member. So it's even crazier to have this Klansman move into this plantation house where thousands of slaves have died in, and their souls are not at rest, and they are in some dolls that are in that house. Crazy story, but I'm not surprised that he has that mindset, because a lot of people have that mindset. Now we get a small little history lesson on the home. So I believe the individual who owned the home was named Nathan, and when the slaves were freed, he had a psychotic break, in my opinion, and he was upset about losing the Civil War. So in result, he decided to kill all of his newly free slaves.
Nathan Wilkes, he's upset that his slaves were going to walk away free. When they tried to leave, the old man snapped. Turned into a massacre. Hundreds of slaves. Lynchings, burnings. 12 bodies hanging from that tree alone.
And the lady in the painting put all the slaves' souls into the doll. So there's like this huge mural on the wall, and it has this black lady. I referred to her as a voodoo queen for what she did. And all of the dolls surrounding her, she put the souls of the past slaves in those dolls. Now there is a reporter that is there. He feels uneasy about looking at the portrait, and eventually the camera pans down and the doll is under the house. And it's not like it's a certain doll. It's the doll that she's holding in the painting. Now they're prepping for his election campaign, and eventually the reporter fell down the stairs. I peeped it firsthand. That doll was there, but Duke didn't see the doll.
You know, I'm not concerned with ghost stories. I'm concerned with traditional American values. Original...
The reporter dies. They have a funeral, and reporters are in his face like Gail Weathers from Scream.
Gail Weathers, Channel 4.
And asking him all of these different questions. And he's just joking around about it, saying that the only thing creepy are these creepy reporters, or like the only thing that he's scared of is like these creepy reporters. I'll put the clip here. But the old man came back from earlier and told him that he should move out, and that the dolls don't want him there, and that he wants him to move and get out that house, because if he don't, the dolls are going to get him. Duke does not listen to him. Duke gets inside of that limo. They drive off. He finds the doll in the limo, asking the driver if they let anybody in there. The driver's telling him, no, I didn't, and Duke threw the doll out of the car.
So you're not afraid of the ghost?
Well, the only spooks I'm afraid of are you spooky reporters.
Driver, who'd you let in this vehicle? Stop the car. Stop the damn car. Damn it.
I let no one in the car, sir.
You know what's crazy? How I mentioned, like, this man is a previous Klans member, and how he was buying a house off of a plantation, and all the crazy things he's about to say about black people in this movie moving forward.
No reparation! Now I'm gonna blow off your little balls. Not even some voodoo bitch spell can overcome the power of a double-barrel shotgun. You little.
Oh, so this is the real Stormy. Ghetto.
You have a black man being your driver. So in my head, I'm thinking to myself, if you ultimately do not like black folks, why do you feel the need to be in their surroundings? And why do you feel the need to have a black man being your driver for you? Now, he goes home. He's reviewing the footage. The doll is missing in the mural, and it's revealed that the doll is the one that caused the reporter to fall down those stairs. And the doll is running back to the house. He gets a knock at the door. When he goes to the door, he opens it. No one's there, but footsteps run into the house. He looks behind him, and the doll is in the house, sitting on the staircase, and Duke takes a vase and throws it at it. It disappears. And the doll is just running throughout the house, which, like, that scene was so great, in my opinion. It builds the suspense, because you have a small doll. This isn't a Chucky doll. You have a smaller doll than Chucky running freely in this house, and you don't know where it is. He goes searching for the doll. He goes into the room where the mural is, and he's, like, mad because he can't find a doll, and he's, like, calling the voodoo queen the B word. I'm not going to say it because the B word is a trigger word for me, especially when it's a man calling a woman that. But he ends up calling her the B word, and he hits her with a flag, and the mural starts bleeding. However, the doll is on the chandelier and jumps on him and starts biting his neck. He throws the doll on the ground. He beats it with the flag. He takes it outside, and he shoots it by having it pinned to a dartboard.
You.
Now fast forward, he goes back into the room with the mural, talking about something. He killed one of them, and now more dolls are missing out of that mural. More dolls are running around the house. He's not able to see them, and ultimately he walks out. He ends up seeing the doll that he just shot be brought back to life, and that doll is charging at him. He can't even get the bullets into the shotgun to take a shot, so he goes back into the room with the mural and locks himself in the room. And at this point, all of the dolls in the mural is released. They're all behind him. He just, like, frozen fear and collapses to the floor as they all start eating him alive. And then eventually the voodoo queen makes an appearance, and she comes out of the mural, but she's watching all of her children get their revenge. This whole time, I have realized I have not given the names of the 3 young black men that's in the funeral home. We have Stack, Ball, and Bulldog. Ball ends up walking into a room and he sees a body in there. And the body, all three of them know who that is. This man, his name is Crazy K. He is also known as Jerome. He kills a guy named Deke in front of his house, and after he kills him, 3 people run out of their house and they shoot at Jerome. He's on the ground and he gets saved by the police officers before the final blow. Now, he is sentenced to life in prison, but this doctor shows up and she tells him that she's able to get him released from prison if he consents to behavioral modification. He agrees to it and gets transported to the facility for the behavioral modification. And he's placed in a cell with this white man. This white man got white power tattooed on him. He had Hitler tattooed on his chest. So we already know what kind of man this person is. And he's talking to Jerome about killing black folks and how the ultimate goal is to kill all the black people, and the black people who helps them fight in that war, I guess, they would be spared as slaves.
So you're a real badass spade.
What you say to me, motherfucker?
The final fight between black and white has begun. I've led my troops, except for the few that help with the fight against their mud-so brethren. Those few will be spared and live their lives as slaves. Do you want to be spared?
Crazy to think about, but I already know there are some people in the world that still think like this, and it is 2025 and this movie came out in the 90s. He punches him in the face and he also gets moved somewhere else. On the elevator going to the other portion of the facility, him and the doctor are talking, and it's revealed that the government paid the doctor to assist with his rehab and to help him get it done, but if he doesn't get it done, he'll just get sent back to solitary confinement, which she doesn't have a problem with sending him back if it came down to it. During this scene, we also learned that he has the high IQ and he has an interest in science, and he said that he does have an interest in chemistry, if you catch my drift. A part of his torture in this behavioral modification process, he has to get his hair cut. He gets put on this weird machine where he is spun around and forced to watch all these different photographs in this like optical sequence. These images involve like the KKK, lynchings of real victims, and so much. And the doctor is basically telling him that he didn't have any remorse when he killed his own people.
What's wrong, Jerome? You don't like seeing black people get killed? But isn't that what you've been doing all your life, Jerome? And how many brothers have you slain?
After this scene, he gets placed into this chamber where he does not hear nothing, he doesn't see anything, like everything is relied on his mind. When he gets placed in there, he eventually gets confronted by the souls of people that he has killed, whether that is his friends or the innocent little girl who was a bystander in her own home and a bullet went through the wall and killed her. He refuses to take accountability, and the doctor is trying to help him and let him know, like, hey, you are still able to redeem yourself, like, just take accountability and redeem yourself. And he doesn't want to take accountability. He's saying that he don't give a fuck, and he's repeating that so many times to the point where he is transported back at the beginning where he was shot down by Deke's associates, and they ultimately killed him and left him abandoned in the street. Now, it was revealed right after this scene that the 3 people that killed Crazy K, aka Jerome, was Stack, Ball, and Bulldog.
Who you think you fucking with, old man?
What? Yeah, cap this for
What? No, what?
Which is the same 3 black men that is currently in the funeral home with Mr. Sims. Mr. Sims is the mortician. I can't believe that I went this far in the video and didn't give their name. So now they're impatient and they are being more aggressive towards Mr. Sims because he knows that they are the murderers of Crazy K, but they still want the shit that he has. So he leads them further into the funeral home and tells them that the shit that he found are in the 3 coffins. So they go up to the 3 coffins, they open each coffin, it's them dead in the coffin.
Shit. We gonna get the shit.
Man, ain't this some shit?
Crazy. Woo! It's in the coffin.
what happened was Crazy K's associates hunted them down and took them out. And the funeral home is not a funeral home, it is hell. And a snake tongue comes out of his mouth through his teeth. He ends up transforming because he, like, before he did that, he disarmed them and his eyes was glowing red and he was able to get their guns out of their hands. And eventually he does transform into the demon. I'm guessing this is supposed to be Satan at this point, even though he low-key looks like, I believe it's Jin from Wishmaster. If you know, you know, but like that low-key, that's what he looks like to me. However, he transforms, they get teleported to hell. Next thing you know, they're just burning up alive.
A few of his boys killed you. Yes! Ain't no funeral home. Welcome to hell.
In this scene, even to this day, like when I was younger and me being at my age now, I always thought this scene was funny because why did it look like they was dancing at first? And that is all that I have for today's video. If you made it this far in the video, give me a huge thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. If you've seen this movie before, or if this is your first time hearing a recap on this movie and you've never seen it before, comment down below which story is your favorite. My story is still tied between the first story with Martin and Clarence and also the third story with Duke and the dolls. I can't pick one. Like, I think those two are just written great, but comment down below which one is your favorite story out of the four. How do you feel about this movie? I still rate this movie a 10 out of 10. I love this movie. I've seen it when I was younger. I still enjoy it at my age now. And keep a lookout for more movie commentaries. I should be hitting on the movie The Uninvited next. If not, maybe a different movie. But until then, I'll see you next time.
This is a little extra.